Good morning, everybody. This is Philip Saturday. Sorry about yesterday. There was a technical issue, not with us, but with Zoom. Welcome to the show. Listen, if you're all, please share it to your boards, put comments, fire away with questions, anything you want, really. I've got a very, very special guest today. He's one of life's characters, one of football's great characters. He's my good friend, and his name is Mr. Peter Reid. Peter, good morning.
Phil, how are you, old chap? Great to see you.
Is that the real Peter Reid?
I am, yeah. But it makes a difference to meeting in tall trees with about 40.
Okay. Leave it. Yeah, shush. Right, listen. I'm going to give some stats, which are very impressive, and I've got them here. 529 appearances, 33 goals. Played for Bolton, Everton, QPR, Southampton, Manchester City, et al. Won 2 championships. European Cup Winners' Cup, 1 FA Cup, could have been 3, as you said before. I mean, fantastic. Went on to manage Man City, went on to manage Sunderland, England under-21s, everyone. Look at Coventry, Thailand, Plymouth, Leeds, Mumbai City.
I get about.
You do get about. It's giving you a good life, this. Not bad from a lad from Hayton.
Funny enough, my career, I played over 500 games, but in my early 20s, in about 4 seasons, I only played about 30 odd games. I was out. I done my knee against Everton playing for Bolton. I was out a year, and then broke my kneecap, broke my leg. So it's a really good appearance record considering the amount of injuries he had.
Well, do you know what we had? I had Robbo on the other week, and it was the same for him. He was talking about injuries. I mean, I'm looking at yours now. I mean, you could add another 200 caps on top of that. And then I'm looking at the England caps. 13, You didn't make your first appearance till you're 29.
Correct. I was in the under-21s, obviously, when I was a babby. And then, for instance, I had them seasons out. And to be fair, there was some good midfield players about. I mean, you talked about Brian there, who was a great Ray Wilkins. Sadly, we've lost Ray, who was another top player. Glenn Hoddle, Gordon Cow. There was so many good midfield players about. It was a tough time getting in the England team.
No, I can imagine.
I had it. I mean, if you'd have told me as a schoolboy growing up in Hayton, just outside Liverpool, that I was going to, win the championship, play for my country, win an FA Cup, I'd have said you were crackers.
Yeah, well, a big thing. I remember the FA Cup. It was big then. It's not so big now. It's a bit of a token trophy. But at the time, me and my dad used to get down, draw the curtains, a few tins for him, a couple of bottles of pop for me, and away we go. But it was a big thing. But looking at you, going back when you were 15 or before that, when you were a toddler, you were a Liverpool fan though. When it your mum and your dad, one was Everton, one was Liverpool.
Listen, there's an interference on the line. I didn't get that. I'm trying to keep that a secret.
Oh, right. I'll keep that a secret. Wipe that one away.
The old fella was a mad red, and I used to stand on the cop, and my old lady was a blue. We've lost my dad, but my old lady's still alive and kicking with her 20 fags a day, self-isolating. So brilliant. And yeah, I played for the town team called Hayton Boys, who won the English School Trophy, the only town team to win it. And our coach was a lad school teacher called Alan Bleasdale. Yeah.
The Alan Bleasdale?
One and only Alan Bleasdale.
Who's know that?
A good friend and obviously a magnificent playwright and author.
Yeah, yeah.
But he was football crackers, and we won the English Schools Trophy. Hence, scouts coming to watch the team, and hence me going to Bolton Wanderers as a young player at the age of 15. Apprentice professional, and not going to the likes of Liverpool, Everton, Manchester United, where I did have a chance of going because of the youth policy at Bolton Wanderers.
But you see, what people don't understand now, and it always goes in cycles, is that Bolton were a top team there. I was looking at when you started playing, made your debut and beyond. Yeah. Frank Worthington. I mean, you were in midfield, and you had Tony Dunn fullback, and then Peter Thompson.
Yeah.
Stories before that with Roger Hunt when you were cleaning his boots.
Yeah, there was. Yeah. I mean, when I got there, Roger Hunt who's, by the way, let me tell you, besides being an outstanding footballer, a great man. And like, I had the honour of cleaning his boots as a young lad. And it was an honour, honest to God. It was brilliant. And then I didn't play in a team with Roger Hunt, Sir Roger Hunt, but when I got into the side, like you rightly say, Tony Dunn, who'd won a European Cup with Manchester United, Peter Thompson, the younger listeners or viewers won't know, Peter Thompson, a left winger. Oh, two of these lads were unbelievable players. I mean, top players, both internationals, and then Frank Worthington come. Sam Allardyce was a young lad, you know, Paul Jones. It was a really top side, and I got in it. I got in the side as a young lad at 17, you know, and it was like amazing times for myself.
But
Brilliant.
then you established yourself in there, obviously, and caught the eye, and then Everton come calling, and that was the start of another great team.
Yeah, that obviously had the injuries, and then Howard come for me, and I failed the medical. I failed the medical. He said,
Yeah.
Doctor said, your knee's knackered. And I said, yeah. And he said, well, I can't pass you. And then Howard Kendall said to me, what will you be doing then if you go back to Bolton next Saturday? And I said, well, I'll be playing. He said, yeah, you will. So we're going to sign you. Forget about the medical. And as they say, the rest, I mean, I had such a great time there with playing in a great side. And like you said before, we won a championship twice, an FA Cup, a European trophy. I mean, I got personal accolades as well, but it was just a magnificent time. I mean, it wasn't like it's showbiz as it is now because of the Sky and the media, which is brilliant. I love it. Yeah. You know, to get balls, but I had a great time playing football. I mean, and I've got to say, I think we were social animals. Is that a good way of putting it in them days?
Pissheads.
I think I'm being a diplomat or tactful. Oh, by the way.
Not like you.
But we used to think after you'd had a game, like if I hadn't had 6 pints in the players' lounge in the first hour, there was something up. And that was the game then.
Well, everyone was the same. They were all at it, weren't they? It was part of the culture, like you said.
Yeah, it was. But I just think, I mean, I think it's fair to say the game was more physical back then. And like, I'm, as you know, I'm big mates with the likes of Brian Robson, Norman Whiteside. Steve McMahon, when the whistle went, it was a battle. By the way, it was lads, it was brutal. But the game finished, and by the way, you kicked the hell out of each other because that was the nature. As soon as the game finished, well done, well played, see you in the bar. Get on with it. It was a brilliant time to play football.
No, yeah, I remember going down there to a game, and a certain goalkeeper. I was lucky enough to go in the players' lounge, and a certain player or a goalkeeper was in there puffing away on the Benson and Hedges, pint by his side, sat in the toilet. I mean, it was a part of the culture, and as you said, it was more physical, and probably that's why you and the likes of Robbo, the challenges that you made. I mean, that's why you ended up with injuries like you did. Yeah. But
I mean, listen, I think the game's evolved, and certain things, the tackle from behind, going over the top, are rightly condemned nowadays. But I've got to, you know, one of them great 50-50s and a good tackle. I still think there's room for that in modern day football. I'm not on about kicking hell out of each other. I'm on about a physical, because you know the word excessive force.
Yes,
I don't understand that.
No, I know.
I don't, honestly, and I might be a dinosaur in football terms, but do you know what I call it? A good hard tackle.
Yeah, but that's not being a dinosaur, is it? It's what the game is missing now. It's all right having pace.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You know what I mean? Let me just tell you, because you don't big yourself up, I've known you a long time, but I'll just say that one of these personal accolades you're talking about, and a friend of mine, Barry Williams, brought this to my attention, was best player of the year, the world player of the year, and you came fourth. Now, let me just tell the viewers who came. First was Michel Platini. Second was Preben Elkiar, who was a top player. Third was Diego Maradona. And fourth was Peter Reid from Huyton. It's not bad, is it, really?
I never knew it was in that order, you know. I never knew Platini won it. I thought Maradona won it. That's amazing, that.
Yeah, he came third, mate. You should have pipped him. You nearly caught him.
It's like anything else. Without being big-headed, I won the PFA Player of the Year, but Neville Southall won the Football Writers. Now that tells you it was a team effort, and I'm not, you know, anybody in that Everton team that year was, let me tell you, unbelievable. It was a good side. It was. I mean, Paul Bracewell, who played, doesn't get much accolades. He was unbelievable. Sharp,
Radcliffe.
Yeah, Radcliffe. I mean, it was such a well balanced, and a lot of people say there weren't many stars, as i.e., but every single one of them was a star.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. It was a great time. I mean, like we go on the social side. I mean, I used to go out in Benny's in Radcliffe, and then certain places, all quiet establishments.
Yeah, of course.
That was the best. That was the best. The breakfast, the full Monty at 4 o'clock in the morning with champagne. Ridiculous.
I think I might have had a couple of them myself, actually. But yeah, I might have had one with you. I don't know.
Hey, you were a real drinking violet, you.
Why I went grey, mate.
Hey, yeah.
Listen, all of that team you're talking about was put together by one man, and that was the great Howard Kendall, who I had the privilege of playing golf with once. So that was one of the greatest days of my life. A fantastic man. He said that you were the best signing that Everton had ever made since the Second World War. I mean, well, you know, I'm not bigging you up or blowing smoke. I'm just quoting what I've read and what people have said. But
well, considering Everton signed Dixie Dean, Tommy Lawton, Alan Ball, Howard Kendall. Alan Ball.
Oh,
I mean, I played against Alan Ball. He was a god.
Yeah.
He was a god as a person and as a player. But, you know, my career was great because I played against some of the lads who were just some of the greats of the 60s. I mean, I played against Bobby Moore. I played against Alan Murray, Alan Ball. These are icons in football, and like I played against them, even though they were, I'd say, past the best. They were still unbelievable footballers.
Who's the best one you ever came across? Who's the best opposition?
George Best was the best player, and by the way, I played against him when he was at Fulham on the piss, and I still couldn't get near him.
Him and Rodney.
He was unbelievable, unbelievable footballer.
Well, my son keeps saying to me, well, he used to say to me, you know, and it's the age-old question, could George Best have fitted in? And I say, I look at it like this. Could Lionel Messi come from there, over to the new camp, come over here and play on a February the 7th at Old Trafford on those beaches? I mean, George Best could have played anywhere, couldn't he?
Listen, Messi, Ronaldo, and Pepe, all brilliant players. When people ask me, could George Best play in this era, I always say, and this is what I say, could Ronaldo, the better question, could Ronaldo, Messi, and then Pepe play in that era? I think they could, but make no mistake, George Best would be an absolute superstar.
Yeah, I agree.
But he was.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And we know what happened with his career.
And he was another one as a man. I mean, everyone talked about George. George Best, for me, was a shy lad. I thought he was shy. He liked to drink, and he expressed himself with a drink, and it got the better of him, as we all know. But what a footballer and what a great guy.
Yeah, well, I know that, and I agree. You know that 100% with that. Listen, I say this all the time, but people like yourself and Robbo the other week, I haven't got enough time, so I'm not going to spout anymore. What I'm going to say is I'm going to go through, because the city here, there's so many stories. Give me one story, because you're the sort of person with this. Give me one sort of pre-season story. You've got thousands, and a lot of them can't be aired over radio. But give me a pre-season story, either as a manager or as a player.
I took the lads over to Toulouse when I was a manager. And you won't believe this. Joe Cocker was on live.
Right.
And it was either going to the game or go to watch Joe Cocker live. Have a guess what I did?
I was Joe.
Oh, unbelievable it was. Unbelievable. It was. I think we won the game.
You think you won the game? Good.
I think Bobby Saxton took the team, but I'll tell you what, that Joe Cocker was unbelievable live. I mean, as a player, I can remember we always had curfews, and I was one of them people who was I like to think I was a good pro, but I must admit, I broke one or two curfews. I mean, I can remember Howard catching about 4 or 5 I think we were in Greece, and he was going to fine us 2 weeks' wages, and we were playing Olympiacos, and he said, "Well, let's see how the game goes. If you win it, I'll call it quits." We beat Olympiacos 3-0 in Olympiacos, and he called it quits. But I'll tell you what, there was a few of the lads blurry-eyed playing in that game.
So listen, go away from this. Last thing as a player, everybody wants to know, and I'm sure you're sick of talking about it. But the '86 World Cup, and one of my heroes was Bobby Robson, Sir Bobby Robson. What a man! What a man! He must have some stories about him.
Oh, I mean, the biggest thing. I mean, Sir Bobby, God rest his soul, give me an England cap. You know, so. Which was one of my ambitions. I'll tell you what, it was funny because he wasn't great with names. And me and Brian Robson had a little game of putting, and we're walking back, and the gaffer come towards us, and as he come towards us, he said to Robbo, "Good morning, Bobby," and Brian went, "No, you're Bobby, I'm Brian," and and there was so many where he was saying in the team meeting, I want you to. I was playing. He said to me, "I want you to get the ball and feed them down the sides to Jerry, and Jerry, I want you to run on them." And we were all looking round, and there's no Jerry in the team. So Trevor Francis went, "Gaffer, I think you mean me." Trevor Francis, Jerry's not. Oh, and yeah. You know what I mean? He was and. Some of his team talks, let's just say they were fairly lengthy, his team talks. And once in Mexico, we stayed in a place called Sotillo up in the mountains, just outside Monterrey. And about 4 of us got sunstroke. We had a team meeting in the sun, and it went on that long. We all got burnt on half of our bars. But that was the gaffer. There's loads of stories. I mean,
listen, I know, mate. But you know, every footballer I've ever talked to, and I know quite a few, have nothing but respect for that man. So,
brilliant. I tell you what he did. He had all the forgetting names. I half think it was to relax you, you know, in certain things. Which and don't forget, everyone calls Sir Bobby Robson great and this. Do you know in the '86 World Cup, he got pillared by the press.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
'88, European Championships, he was getting it again. And in '90, he was having a bit. But you know what he did? He handled it all. So besides that warm exterior, there was a hard football manager who took all the stick and come out on the right side. And I think that shows an amazing amount of character that people forget about Sir Bobby Robson.
Well, I don't think people understand as well. He was a tremendous footballer, and he had great at Ipswich.
Yeah. A great manager at Ipswich, West Brom and Fulham, outstanding footballer. Played for England. You know. Was
he fullback or was he midfield?
Midfield player, wing half. Back in the day, wing half.
Yeah. So going on to this, what made me laugh was about all this. Obviously, the story is that there's a lot of injuries. Team was patched together. We weren't playing well. Suddenly, we got a team spirit. I was watching it like everyone else, and we do well. Linux starts scoring for once.
Well, I'll tell you what happened, Phil. We we got beat by Portugal 2-1. We drew with Morocco, and Ray got sent off, Ray Wilkins, and then Robbo done his shoulder, so he had to. Waddle got injured, so he had to change the system. And what he did, he brought Peter Beardsley in to play in behind Gary Lineker, dropped Mark Aitley. I come in next to Glenn because Robbo and obviously Ray were out. Trevor Stephen went on the right side and Steve Hodge. So we went for the basic, like it was a 4-4-1-1 instead of a 4-3-3. And it just, we played Portugal and Poland, beaten 2-0. Links got a hat-trick. And the balance of the side changed. And from that, confidence come into the team, which is a massive team. Because don't forget, Ray and Brian, arguably two of the most influential players in the squad. You know, and to miss them was a big thing. But we just got a balance about us. And like I said, we went on to strength to strength.
Oh, it was tremendous. It's great. It's so you can see your passion for it. Well, let's just say we know what happens next. We all know, but for a lot of people who don't know out there, we come up against Diego. And one of the quotes I wouldn't call it the hand of God. I'd call it the hand of a cheating bastard.
Yeah.
That sort of just wraps it up for me.
Yeah. Well, we beat Paraguay, didn't we? It was a good side. But listen, Diego's first one. Steve Hodges tried to get it back. Schultz is out and he's got his hand to it. Now, I've seen it because I was at the edge of the box. And I'm waiting for the referee's whistle, but the crowd just exploded, you know. And we run out, Tunisian referee it was, and his scouts wasn't that good, so we couldn't really communicate. But he's give it, and you're always under the cosh. The first goal in them big games, quarterfinals of World Cups or any big game, are crucial. Invariably, the team who gets the first goal goes on to win it. Not all the time, but most of the time. And the second one was just, well, I got a great view of it. But like I've got a after dinner where it says Glenn Hoddle lost the ball, middle of the park. Me and Peter Beardsley trying to chase Diego after he spun us on the halfway line, and Peter goes at pace. I go at pace. Peter doesn't, and I always say I don't blame Peter. With his bad shoulder, and he goes past Terry Fennick, who'd been booked. Terry Butcher gets in the inside right position, sticks it in the bottom corner. Schultz comes out like a bag of shite. So it was nothing to do with me. Stick by that.
Even though I've heard you say it was like being a toddler and chasing your dad in the garden.
Yeah, I mean, one of the attributes Maradona had is with the ball. He was just quick with it. I mean, the surface on the Azteca Stadium wasn't great on the day, but I mean, he just went with pace with that left peg, and it was just absolute. And don't forget, I mean, in the semi-final, Belgium man for marked with a lad called Eric Gerets, who was a great man-for-man defender. Diego pulled them all over the place. And then, even in the final against the Germans, who were strong, the little cheating bastard was magnificent. Is that an apt description, that?
In my eyes, it is, yeah. Of course, I was calling him worse than that. I wasn't playing. So
it's funny enough. I get it. We were devastated. It went off in the tunnel. It was fighting. Butcher was trying to kill everyone. Terry Butcher, and we got back to the room, and I'm lying in my bed, and I'm rooming with Steve Hodge, and devastated. And Hodge goes, "What about this then? This." Yeah, blue number 10. And I went, I wouldn't give you the time of day. I think he's been offered 250 grand for it at this moment in time. So, mind you, I didn't get that close to getting near the shirt. So.
No, you saw his number, though.
Thank you. Thanks for that, yeah.
Listen, what I'm going to say to you, I said to Robbo the other week, is because we've got these slots, which the 40 minutes, I don't want to seem like I'm rushing, but can we do a Peter Reid part 2 in a couple of weeks where I talk about the management and everything else?
No problem.
There's a few things I'll ask you though. Why weren't you in that Harry's Hero thing? Because you're the fittest man I've seen out of a lot of them.
Exactly. It's I think it's one of them. Your fitness levels. I think I was deemed too fit.
Well,
to get in the team. Mind you, the lads had. I mean, obviously there was an important social side to the message, which I think got through. You know, on depression, on addiction, which come across really well, and it's something that we all should be aware of. And there was some fun parts as well, and I think it come across really well. And it's always good seeing some of the lads. But I always love, and especially at this time where we are now, Phil, I cannot wait for this to get this virus over with, and hopefully not a lot more deaths and not a lot more sadness for these people. And a big hey-ho and a big cheer to all them nurses, social workers, carers, police department, or everybody. But I can't wait to get back to some sort of normality. Just have a laugh in the pub and meet a few old pals, because what it proves, and I'm not getting sentimental, but what it proves is this life's about people. Meeting people, having a laugh with people, and that's the bottom line. You could have millions and millions of pounds. I'm lucky I've got a nice garden I can go into, but I do miss people.
Yeah, well, you're a people person.
Yeah.
I think everyone is really.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a reset button, though, isn't it? This is a reset button.
Yeah.
You know, people are actually talking to each other, and we know. And listen, mate, I can't wait to see you when this is over. I really can't. But hopefully, like you said, I'm going to get you back, and I want to go through the whole management, everything.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Listen.
In fact, I might have a glass of wine. There you go. So it loosens me vocal cords.
Would you? Yeah, that'd be nice. It's not like you. Would you have a glass? Just one. Because I'm not used to this posh Peter.
I'm fed up with that coffee.
Listen, final questions now. I always do this. So you're in lockdown by yourself, in your thing. What you can take in one drink, what would it be?
Ooh, great. What a good question. What? Well, can I cheat?
Hey?
Can I cheat?
Yeah, you will do anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. I'd start off with a Porral spritzer, because it's a nice day, right?
Yeah.
Right, and then I'll have a burger on, so I'll have to have a glass of Amarone with my burger.
Okay.
Right? And then I'm going to have a salad after my burger, so I'll have to have a nice crisp Chablis. And then follow off with a nice large Jameson's with a block of ice whiskey.
Right. Okay.
The Irish in me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, yeah, thanks. Welcome. This is a food and drink show, as you know. One, I said, right, you've killed that. Right. Oh, what about one track of music? What would it be? Play it over and over again.
Oh, what a great... Oh, I tell you what, you're hard, you. One track. I'd have to go with Mac the Knife, Bobby Darin. Good choice.
Great choice. Let's see, you can do it. Right, I'm going to make a film. I'm going to call it Reid. Enough. Who's going to play Peter?
Oh, well, listen, I'm a ringer for Daniel Craig.
Oh, Daniel. So
Daniel Craig. Sid James. So we can have...
What about Sid Craig? Ryan Robson said last week, Richard Gere. So Richard Gere, and that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Listen, I read your book. You've got to read Cheer Up Peter Reid. It is absolutely fantastic. Anyone who wants to read it, get out there and read it. It's not just about...
Thank you. Oh, and the other, Cheer Up Peter. And the other thing, have a look at the film Howard's Way. You'll love it.
I've seen it, and it's sensational. Yeah. I recommend that as well. Listen, pal, I'll let you get back to your spritz, your Amarola, and everything else. I love you loads. Stay safe, and I'll speak to you on this. And thanks for doing it on part 2 with the management. All the best.
Yeah, give me a call and I'll speak to you soon, Phil.
All right, Reid, will do. Thanks a lot, pal.
Ta-ra.